Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are on the Train Sim World 5, soon to be 6, and we are today at Glasgow Queen Street, as you can see from the sign on my right side, and there's a Lumo train in there. Now, why am I doing this? Well, because Lumo set out proposals for new services, including extensions to their existing Edinburgh to London services to Glasgow, which would include 4 return trips Monday to Friday, 5 services on a Saturday, and 3 services on a Sunday. And they wanted to run an extra service that would run between Glasgow Queen Street and Edinburgh, served once per day, all days of the week. These proposals did not go forward, or not all of them anyway. However, from December this year, on the December timetable change, there will be 3 additional northbound services, 2 additional northbound services, Monday to Friday, extensions to Glasgow, 1 southbound, which is the one that we're doing, Monday to Friday, and 1 extra service in each direction on a Sunday. So no services on a Saturday, but there will be Monday to Friday and Sunday. So this is the only southbound service, and interestingly, it's come up on real-time trains as the 9:22 service from Glasgow Queen Street to London King's Cross, calling at Falkirk High, Haymarket, Edinburgh, Morpeth, Newcastle, Stevenage and London King's Cross. So it will be departing Glasgow Queen Street at 9:22, arriving estimated 9:40 at Falkirk High, departure 9:42, then Haymarket at 10:08, 10 past 10 departure from Haymarket, and then Edinburgh at 10:14 arrival for a departure at 10:26. The time now, according to our in-game clock, is 9:18. The service that was on our right-hand side on platform number 1 just departed to Alloa, and it will be doing all station stopping, which unfortunately we will have to follow as far as Falkirk. We've got a beautiful ScotRail 7 City HST sitting on platform 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is on the Sprinter Express timetable, and so we have this lovely Lumo on the most up-to-date livery, as you can see. Unfortunately, of course, the interior is the 801, so we got first class, which of course Lumo doesn't operate. So we've got first class there for the first 2 carriages. Then we've got standard class, obviously all red because LNER runs the 801, and this is what the train is based on, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's the situation that we have. We are currently on platform number 2, which is right next to the low-level platforms of 8 and 9, and we will be departing at 8:22, which is in 2 minutes. As a 385 has just arrived, perhaps on an express service from Edinburgh. Anyway, we're going to jump to the front and then set our route for Edinburgh, and we're planning to do platform number 1 for our arrival. Well, I was thinking 1 or 2. So we're already set up in here apart from the route, so let's set our route. It's one of the things I do like about Train Sim World these days, that you can set the route. So we'll set a path going all the way to Edinburgh Waverley. Now I was thinking about platform 2 because there's a bit of a clash on platform 11. We could do 11B, which there's nothing on there, but I think I will do platform 2. There's nothing there until 12:30, so let's do platform 2, confirm, and then the signal should clear, and the time now is 21:14. In the theatre box we got the letter U standing for up. Now, if you don't know anything about Glasgow Queen Street, but it has one of the steepest climb outs and I guess descents in of any railway in the UK, I believe. Well, especially coming into a terminus. So we'll be departing now, so we'll press the door close button. Actually, we'll do it from the outside. Doors are closing. Lovely. Now we are, as I said, on an 801 reskinned for Lumo. So the train will not accelerate as fast as Lumo's 803s because there are diesel engines on the intermediate cars. There are 2 in total on the 801s, but Lumo's 803s have 0 diesel engines. So departing Glasgow Queen Street, we'll proceed on a 20-mile-an-hour limit as we enter the tunnel. And as we enter the tunnel, a Class 158 has just arrived. Okay, accelerating away, going up the 2.2% grade, leaving Glasgow towards the Eastfield area of Glasgow and past the Eastfield depot before hitting Bishopbriggs. Now we will be trying to be as cautious as we can. On this current timetable there will be a lot of following, but I'm sure by the winter timetable of 2025 that will be all sorted, and then there won't be any or too much of following and chasing aspects. So speed limit will climb now to 60 mile an hour as we exit the tunnel. We'll start our acceleration up to 60. And because we're still on the climb out, we will pull into power notch 1, or we'll do power notch 2 at 58 miles per hour. That should hold our speed until we hit the top of the climb, which is just at this curve that's just coming up here. And we've now crested over the climb, and it looks like we're coming under cautionary aspects already. So I'm just going to let the train coast for a bit. And we've got double yellows coming up as we pass the Eastfield depot to our right. Just turned green, so in my mind I'm thinking now that train that was ahead of us on platform number 1 would have departed Bishopbriggs by now and cleared the following signal. However, we'll still idle the train. We'll let the train coast until we see at least one more green aspect, and then we can accelerate. So as you can see here, double yellows again, so we'll just cancel the AWS. And then we've got an 85 mile an hour speed limit here. Then there'll be 100 just after Bishopbriggs station. You can see we're already still running under cautionary signals. Double yellow. I can see ahead, just ahead of Bishopbriggs, we still got double yellow aspect. as we pass a 6-car 385. We can probably accelerate now, considering we have a 100 mph limit now. However, Lindsay Station isn't that far from here, so I will just continue to proceed with caution. And we are at our most efficient when we're coasting. So once again, we're on double yellows. So we'll play in with that caution. Now these lines in and out of Glasgow, as far as I believe it's Lindsay, are run as bi-directional lines, which means trains can operate in both directions on both lines. That's why there are opposing signals that we're following, and there are also signals on our right hand side on the down line. So we're still on double yellows and we're still coasting. Now we're approaching, there's a couple of loop lines here and a small depot where the ScotRail Inter-7 City HSTs, normally stable, especially those that terminate in Glasgow. They have refueling facilities here and cleaning facilities also, which provide the necessary overnight and daytime stabling that the HSTs need, which is just here on our right hand side. At the moment there are no trains stabled in here, as we are quite early in the day. You'll more likely see trains in here in the evenings and at night time. As I said, there is one tucked away in the corner there, and it looks like it's a 4-car Inter-7 City. That was our vigilance alarm. We're still coasting 45 mph, and it's good that we are, because this is a single yellow approaching us, which means the next signal will be red as the train has stopped in Lindsay. So we're going to prepare to stop at the next signal. Now that signal we just passed is TPWS protected, but I believe the next signal is not. Start braking now. And we still got a red aspect here. And it just cleared to single yellow aspect. So we'll proceed with caution, expect the next signal to be red. We'll accelerate to 35. We'll just coast the train now. And an express class 385 is just passing us. Interesting fact about the class 385s, they share commonality with these 800 trains, the Azumas, the Lumos 803s, the Novos from Transpennine. They serve the same, some of the same manufacturing parts. I mean, one thing I noticed as well is the small toilets on the 385s are exactly the same as they are here on the 800 series trains as well, which brings manufacturing costs down as there are commonality in parts. Just cleared to green. We'll accelerate slowly as we're expecting at least a double yellow on the next light. If it's a green, we'll accelerate up to line speed or as close to line speed as we can. So we'll do a slow acceleration at power notch 3. The next station, we just passed Lindsay, will be Corey. Or will be Croy, not Corey. Why did I say Corey? Croy, C-R-O-Y. Next signal's green, we'll accelerate full now, knowing that the stopper in front of us has accelerated as well up to line speed. When the signals start to give us cautionary, that means the train has stopped at Croy, and then until we get up to the junction at Falkirk, we'll be continually to follow. Proceeding on greens, we will continue to accelerate. Approaching line speed now, vigilance alarm just went off. Power notch 1, as we're on a slight climb up. You should hold the speed quite nicely, maybe losing a mile an hour or two, but we'll hold our speed at 100. And we're back under cautionary again. And we'll get the brakes on. We'll go quite hard on the brakes. Not enough to make our customers feel too uncomfortable though, as the signal after this loop is actually quite close after. There's a class 380, which of course in real life now do not run on this line, but they did when the electrification was completed on this line. But this is the Sprinter timetable that TSW have. After you purchase the ScotRail Class 158 Sprinter units. And this is the timetable I'm running on, as it just has more traffic flows and more variety in the traffic compared to the bog standard Edinburgh to Glasgow line. Just a note as well that this service doesn't have any time benefits than to take the Avanti West Coast service from Glasgow Central to Euston, but I think really what Lumo has done there is tapped into a market that is unfortunately missing since the end of the LNER services to Glasgow, which towards the end of their running of the Glasgow service there was only one train per day. So it makes up for a bit of a gap, especially for people connecting for places like Newcastle. However, it's a shame that there is only one southbound service, and this is the one and only southbound service that will be operated. Okay, stop at a red, put the DRA on, set reverser to neutral. And Croy Station is literally just around the corner. One thing I have noticed from previous travels on this line, that the Croy Station is actually very, very busy at times, especially for people going from here to the Glasgow city. Okay, we're on single yellow cautionary. DRA can come off now. Set forward on the reverser. Then we'll accelerate, not too hard, as we are expecting the next signal to go red. So I'm going to pull the camera forwards to Croy Station, the rather nicely partially rebuilt station of Croy since the electrification. And as I say, especially this platform here, platform 2, is often very busy with people going into the city of Glasgow. We'll just coast in at 45 here, and we'll just watch the Lumo pass. And as we pass Croy, the first signal out is aspecting double yellow. Now the time is approaching 9:38, almost 9:39. Now the train is expected to arrive into Falkirk High at 9:40. Unfortunately, on our service today, with the current timetable that is being run here on Trainsim World, we are not able to fulfill that, unfortunately. But of course, the winter timetable, once it's finalized and released, will allow for these timings. I can see the next signal just around the corner. It's a green, so we'll full power. And we're not too far off the junction at Falkirk, or just before Falkirk, where the train that's ahead of us, that's bound for Alloa, which is just north of Stirling, would turn to our left side and leave the main line between Edinburgh and Glasgow. Now there's a possibility, if that is a train that runs in real life, that they might time it a few minutes later to allow the Lumo service to get to Falkirk on time. Because to me that seems that would work in the favour of the timetable that has been published on real-time trains. We're now at line speed, 100 miles per hour, on a slight falling grade. Now the line that's coming underneath us goes towards Moss End and goes towards Stirling. It's a handy link for the freight trains going to Grangemouth, coming off the West Coast Main Line. We're now approaching the junction, which diverges to the left. Trains going to the left head towards Stirling, and the Highland services up to Inverness also go that way from Glasgow. We're now coming into the town of Falkirk, and we're going to start our braking now. Ready for our arrival into Falkirk High. Approximately 5 minutes behind our scheduled arrival time. Probably braked a little too early than I should have done, really. We still got a little bit of a distance left before we arrive at Falkirk High Station. So we've arrived in Falkirk High. This is a fantastic service that's on offer now. Well, from December's timetable, the Lumo offers an extra service for those living in Falkirk to make their way to London. At the moment they have one train from Stirling in the morning, and they have the Highland Chieftain in the midday. Now they will have this service as well in the morning as an extra option for those going from Falkirk to places like Newcastle and even down to London. As we proceed out of Falkirk High, the next station that we will be passing through will be Polmont. Still under green aspects, we approach Polmont. Just before the station, we'll see the junction on the left side, which leads you towards Falkirk Graveston and also towards Stirling and the Highland Main Line. Services like the Highland Chieftain, now operated by Azuma Class 800s, go down there. So now we are entering territory in which the 800 series Hitachi trains are now relatively commonplace. It's nice to see that the train coming from Stirling and Dunblane has been held for our train, which is I guess an express, here at the junction at Polmont. And here's the station of Polmont, passing through at 90 miles per hour. As we come out of Polmont, we enter an area which was infamous for a derailment some 40 years ago now, in which I believe it was a cow, was on the line causing derailment of a train. Accelerate to 100 miles per hour. Just after this bridge there is a preserve railway on the left hand side, which is the Bowness Railway. You can see it turning off there to our left hand side. There is a mainline connection here as well, which is great for bringing trains on and off the main line and to and from other preserve railways. Just past this junction there is a 90 mile an hour speed limit. As we climb towards the town of Linlithgow, this is infamous for being the home of Mary Queen of Scots. It's a shame we cannot see the castle from this game, but in real life you will, here on the left hand side. It's quite prominent in the skyline, but it's not here in game, unfortunately, as we approach the town and the train station. Just before the station, the line speed goes back up to 100 miles per hour. Now this is probably the longest space between two stations on this line, between Linlithgow and Edinburgh Park, which we are now traversing. I can assure you in real life this type of swaying on this part of the line, as far as I'm aware, doesn't exist, but this is probably some form of limitation that Train Sim World has. As you can see, the body of the car body of the train is wobbling around on its yaw axis quite a lot on this very straight section. Coming through this cutting now, there will be a junction to our left hand side, which is a freight only line which leads you to Dalmeny. Dalmeny is just south of the Forth Bridge on the River Forth, and the Dalmeny station is located approximately, I think it's about a mile away from South Queen's Ferry. Speed limit goes down to 90 here as we approach the junction. And there's the junction, turning off to our left hand side. Slow down for an 80 mph speed limit as we approach a viaduct. .158 Sprinter unit passing us now. Interesting as well, if you are sat on the left side of the train here, you can actually see Edinburgh Airport and the control tower at Edinburgh from this viaduct. You can even see the tops of the Forth bridges. As we exit the viaduct, approach the 100 mph speed limit for the last time. So the last time that we will be reaching 100 mph on this route. The line from our right hand side that will come is the line to Glasgow Queen Street Low Level via Bathgate, operated by the Class 334 Junipers. It's a very long way to get to Glasgow if you ever take that service, compared to taking this line to Glasgow Queen Street via Falkirk High. However, provides a good link for those living in places like Bathgate and Livingston to places like Edinburgh and Glasgow. As we approach Edinburgh Park, this bridge here is a fantastic marker that will bring us into the city sprawl of Edinburgh now. And the tram will run over the head of us, as you can see, with the Novotel on our right side and the Premier Inn on the left side. This is a straight run now all the way down to the junction. From the line of the Fife Circle and the lines going up to Aberdeen, Dundee and Aberdeen. We'll run alongside the tram up to Haymarket. The tram at the moment will be running on our right hand side, and once we join the lines from the Fife Circle, it will then shoot over ahead of us and run alongside us on the left side until Haymarket. Here's the lines from the Fife Circle now joining us to the left. And as I mentioned previously, the tram is now running overhead of us. tram will now run on our left hand side. Slowing down for the 80 mile an hour. Perhaps should have done it a little bit earlier. Still running under green aspects. As we approach Murrayfield to our left hand side, the home of Scottish rugby. The line leading to our right side is a avoider line for Edinburgh City and pops out on the opposite side of Craigentinny Depot on the other side of Edinburgh. Haymarket Depot is now coming up to our left with turbo sets and HST sets in situ. There's even a Sprinter unit on the left side. It is a diesel only depot here at Haymarket, and any of the ScotRail electric trains that need stabling or some light maintenance will be done at Craigentinny, which is on the southern side of Edinburgh. Approaching platform 3 at Haymarket, we are running on time, as our estimated arrival time should be 8 minutes past 10 and our departure at 10 past 10. However, we will not do the actual departure time, and in fact we'll leave early. We'll sit for maybe 2 minutes, allow passengers on and off, and then we'll proceed towards Edinburgh. Haymarket over the years has been extensively rebuilt in preparation for the electrification of the line that we were just on. It also is one of the few stations in the country that includes a platform 0. However, there are, as far as I'm aware, there are no current services, passenger services using platform 0. It's mostly used for empty stock movements out of Haymarket Depot to the rest of the ScotRail network. So that 385 is now departing. Unusual to see Glasgow Queen Street is it slow? It says Bishop Briggs. It's an interesting service, especially to see it on platform number 2. Normally these trains will leave for platform number 1. Anyway, we'll now proceed for our departure to Edinburgh Waverley. Five minutes past, depart, and we'll proceed at 40 miles an hour through the Haymarket tunnels. And the turbo unit has just arrived in platform number 2. So as we proceed underneath Edinburgh streets, the West End streets of Edinburgh, we are coming to the conclusion of this video. Now, the purpose of this video was, one, informational for the fact that Lumo is running these services coming this December, and this is one of the only services that I've been able to get hold of the timings for. So now we slow down for the 20 mile an hour, and as we exit, the Castle Rock will be on our right hand side and the Princess Street Gardens will be on our left hand side. It looks like we'll be running straight into the platform at platform number 2. We've got our feather position light on there as well. As I say, the Castle Rock here on our right hand side, and the the Princess Street Gardens on our left hand side. Final tunnel now, which goes underneath the National Scottish Gallery, which is that lovely, rather sort of Romanesque looking building at the top there. And the theatre box light is displaying 19. Coming into Edinburgh now, plenty of trains to see. Class 385 here, a couple of Sprinter units as well in there. Now I've used this platform many a time, platform 19, here at Edinburgh. This platform is often used by the Highland Chieftain and also the services to Aberdeen from LNER. Occasional LNER turnarounds will also proceed from this platform from London. I'll release the doors now. In fact, we'll shut down the train. Actually, no, we'll leave the train on for the next driver. Although I would assume they'd probably use the same drivers. So we'll jump out of the train. Now that has been the Lumo service from Glasgow Queen Street to London, which will operate this December on the December timetable change. And this will be run as the 922 from Glasgow, calling at Falkirk High, Haymarket, Edinburgh, Waverley, Morpeth, Newcastle, Stevenage, and then London King's Cross for the arrival at 14:42. And I thank you for joining me today, especially on Train Sim World. I very rarely get to feature Train Sim World, but I thought, why not in this occasion? This is quite a landmark time, especially for Lumo. They got what they wanted, which is an extension to their Edinburgh services, or at least a few of them anyway. The beautiful Edinburgh station, and I got to feature the lovely line between Edinburgh and Glasgow. You could see the Balmoral Hotel through the beautifully restored glass, and it really is beautifully restored. You can see lovely through it, because I remember growing up not being able to see through. Anyway, I'm going to bring you to the main concourse here, and we'll just close off by looking at the departure boards. Now, I would assume as well that this service will most likely be using platform 2 over here. It could even use platform 1, but I think it will either be platform 2, perhaps 19 it might use, or 20. But likely platform number 2, I think more likely, should I say, platform number 2, or perhaps the platforms on this side. Perhaps It might even use platform 10 or platform 11 or perhaps 7, or even the platforms on the other side, which I think, I'm trying to think of the numbers now. Anyway, let me close you off by having a look into the main ticket hall here, which if you ever get a chance to come, honestly, come have a look at this. If you're in Edinburgh Waverley. Also, the toilets are here and there's a refilling station there for your water bottles. So let me conclude by saying thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been something a bit different. I hope maybe I'll do a few more videos like this, and I'll close you off with a song from the piano.